Right now there is some serious backlash building around Turbosquid, which is a popular marketplace for 3D assets. Right now, long-time sellers began reporting unusually severe drops in sales, disappearing search visibility, repeated refunds, and months where portfolios containing hundreds of models earned almost nothing. One artist with 320 uploaded models reportedly made only $3, while others complained that newer, high-quality assets were being buried beneath much older models. The frustration became more serious enough that some contributors started uploading new work and began threatening to remove their existing libraries. Also, there is a payment controversy, which is slightly more complicated than Turbosquid simply refusing to pay marketplace royalties. Also, what does Stock Shutter's contributor fund and data licensing deals have to do with this problem? After Shutterstock acquired Turbosquid, while 3D artist assets could be included in datasets used for AI training, but contributors say they cannot see which models are licensed, who licensed them, how much the deals were worth, or how their share was calculated. So some sellers agreed to sell their 3D models data for training AI, then later they got screwed. Reports say the latest contributor fund payment arrived in November of 2024, with another payment expected during 2026, but the deadline passed without a clear payment explanation. So what is going on with Turbosquid? Is its own reputation as the safest and the most important marketplace for professional 3D models going away? Also, should you buy and sell using this market anymore? To understand all these problems, let's begin from the start. Turbosquid's story began in New Orleans during the 1990s, when Matt and Andrew Wisdom were running Chimera Digital Imaging, which was a small studio producing 3D animation for television commercials. Like many studios, they gradually accumulated a library of useful models, like vehicles, furniture, props, and other objects, but there was no convenient way to sell those assets to other artists and studios. You see, reusing a model made a perfect sense, yet transforming large files, collecting payments, and finding buyers was still surprisingly difficult. The team began developing an online marketplace around 1999, initially under the name iPublish, then joined forces with another New Orleans group developing a similar service called 3D Bay. The combined company became Turbosquid in the year 2000 and was publicly launched as SIGGRAPH that August. The idea arrived at exactly the right moment. Professional 3D software were becoming more and more accessible, and internet connection was improving, and demand for digital assets was growing across advertising, architecture, television, and games. So as you can imagine, instead of paying artists to model every chair, car, or building, from scratch, a studio could go to Turbosquid, buy something close to what they need, and then modify it. There is also an early relationship with Autodesk, which gave the marketplace enormous visibility. 3ds Max 4 shipped with Turbosquid plugin, placing the service directly in front of one of the largest communities of professional 3D artists at the time. So Turbosquid effectively became the stock photo library of the 3D world, before most people had even accepted that stock 3D models could be a major business. And its biggest advantage was the classic marketplace network effect, where artists uploaded models because Turbosquid had the most buyers, and more buyers visited because it had the largest selection. By 2011, the platform reportedly had more than 2 million members and over 20,000 contributing artists, and by 2012, its community has grown beyond 2.5 million members and 25,000 artists. At that scale, searching Turbosquid often became the default first step whenever a production needed a generic vehicle, appliance, landmark, anatomical model, or industrial objects. Turbosquid also understood that having the largest library was not enough, because early 3D model marketplaces were filled with inconsistent files in addition to other problems. So a model could look excellent in its preview, but arrive with missing textures, broken geometry, unclear scale or materials that only worked in one render. So in 2011, Turbosquid introduced Checkmate, which is a certificate system in which selected models were inspected against technical and presentation standards. The specifications were developed with feedback from production companies and some major users too. And by 2017, Turbosquid said it had manually certified more than 40,000 products. As you can imagine, this gave professional buyers more confidence that an expensive asset would actually work once downloaded. The company has become even better by absorbing competitors as well, so it combined operations with Fallen Pixel and Exchange 3D back in 2011, then acquired GS Studio in addition to TF3DM in 2017. This deal did not eliminate every rival, but they consolidated more models, artists and web traffic under Turbosquid's umbrella. The Squid Guild exclusivity program also encouraged successful sellers to keep their best work on Turbosquid in exchange for higher royalty percentages, making it harder for smaller marketplaces to offer the same catalog. So for roughly 2 decades, this combination of an early start, Autodesk exposure, an enormous searchable library, quality certification, and artist exclusivity deals made Turbosquid almost synonymous with buying 3D models. Its consumer base eventually scratched far beyond traditional CG studios and into retail, news media, engineering, defense, and major corporations. And by the time Shutterstock announced its acquisition in 2021, Turbosquid said its customers included more than half of Fortune 100, and Shutterstock paid approximately $75 million, which shows how valuable they saw it for certain reasons they only knew. Back in 2021, Turbosquid was already one of the biggest dedicated marketplaces for 3D models, while Shutterstock was mainly known for photos, illustrations, footage, and music. So what is the connection here? Well, the deal gave Shutterstock an instant entrance into the growing 3D market instead of forcing it to rebuild a marketplace and a contributor community from scratch. And even Shutterstock themselves described the acquisition as a way to become the world's largest 3D marketplace and expand into areas like advertising, games, architectural visualization, AR, and VR. And if you look at it closely, the time made a lot of sense, because companies were beginning to need more 3D content, and Turbosquid also brought more than downloadable models. It has technologies for inspecting and standardizing assets, along with PixelSquid, which turns 3D models into customizable 2D renders. Shutterstock believed it could place this content in front of its much bigger consumer base and combine normal stock imagery with ready-made 3D assets. Surprisingly enough, early on, Shutterstock even said the new 3D business was performing above expectations. For 3D artists, however, the acquisition gradually became more controversial because Turbosquid had originally felt like a social CG market, which operated by people focused specifically on 3D. But after joining Shutterstock, contributors increasingly felt that it was being merged more like a massive stock content platform. You see, PixelSquid assets were later integrated into Shutterstock's library, and the company also began exploring data and AI licensing opportunities involving contributor content. So the acquisition itself was initially presented as a major expansion opportunity, but in hindsight, many artists see it now as the moment Turbosquid began shifting away from its old creator-focused identity toward the machine of Shutterstock, which is focused on subscriptions and trading using their data. The Shutterstock Contributor Fund was introduced back in 2022 as the company's answer to a very uncomfortable question. If Shutterstock licenses artists' work to companies trading generative AI, shouldn't those artists receive some of the money? So instead of treating every photo, video, or 3D model like a normal individual sale, Shutterstock posts revenue from AI training and computer vision dataset deals, then distributes part of that money among the contributors whose content and data were included. According to Shutterstock, creators collectively receive an average of 20% of the revenue it earns from data licensing contracts, with each artist's share depending largely on how much their content appeared in that dataset. For Turbosquid artists, this matters because Shutterstock can license selected 3D models as part of their dataset sold to AI researchers and technology companies. And surprisingly enough, Turbosquid has confirmed that its content was used in the dataset behind 3D generative AI projects, which Shutterstock developed with NVIDIA, and that any revenue from this program is supposed to flow into contributor fund payments. The company said the amount they paid, to each Turbosquid artist, depends on the number of assets used and the artist's normal royalty rate, so artists can opt out to future dataset deals, although the opt-out was only introduced in March 2023, meaning some content may already have been licensed before artists were even given that choice. And I think this is just a trick to give people the illusion of choice, because there is no way in hell to know whether or not your 3D assets are used to train AI projects. The big controversy is that the system is almost completely opaque, I mean from the artist side. Contributors cannot normally see which specific models were used, as I said, which company licensed them, or how often they were used, or how much the full contract was worth. Shutterstock says these are customized enterprise deals, so individual assets do not appear as normal downloads. So artists simply receive a mysterious amount under a contributor fund payment, whenever Shutterstock decides the pool has accumulated enough money to distribute. So the problem is, there is no firm public payment schedule. But here's the thing. The wording only says payments happen periodically, which gives the company a lot of flexibility, but leaves you as a 3D artist unable to check whether their share is actually fair. This is why I think the fund originally sounded like a relatively ethical alternative to companies simply scrapping your 3D work, but it has gradually become another source of mistrust, which is a bad thing. So in mid-July 2026, Turbosquid contributors complained that the payments had apparently stopped for a long period and the promised payment window had passed without a clear explanation. And as I said in the beginning, these claims come from different artists in the industry. But the underlying transparency problem is actually really serious. Because as a 3D artist, you're being asked to trust an internal calculation that you have almost no ability to audit. I can't say that the contributor fund is necessarily fake, because they actually paid artists before. But its vague payment policies and the regular distribution makes it very difficult for any 3D artist to know whether they are paid enough for training AI using the assets that they spend a lot of time and effort making. And there you have it, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to receive more videos like this. Also, I would like to know what you think about this topic, because it is really controversial. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.